What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
A couple quick reminders to download and play NBA 2K20 and Rise of the Tomb Raider, both offer for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those, come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of them. And our game of the month randomly picked is Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a third-person Minecraft meets Dragon Quest JRPG type game. Make sure to play that. Come back at the end of the month as well for Game of the Month, where we will be discussing that. Hopefully you had a chance to play it as well, and you can talk with us about it. And we'll be picking a brand new game for Game of the Month next month, as we do. Soon you get to pick, right?
Yeah, I don't know what month that is, though.
It's not next month, but the month after that. Okay. So whatever the fuck that is. It's coming up. Chevy gets to pick soon, and you guys get to pick. So start thinking about what you guys want to play in December. We have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. And we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. We have Patreon as well. If you'd like to support the channel even further than liking, commenting, sharing, and all that stuff, watching the videos, we appreciate it all. Thank you. Goes right back in the channel if you decide to do it. If you don't, whatever. And yeah, type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you'd like to be considered for our segment on TastyCast, where we read your guys' comments and reply to them. And yeah, just type in hashtag AskTLG, and there's a very good chance you will be featured on the show, as long as it's not some crazy shit or blatant advertisement. You're like, hey, check out buygold.com. That's not making the show. All right, so Tasty Tuesday, we got two bits of news to talk about. One's a reaction, more so. Apparently, there was a Nintendo Direct Mini that happened that we'll be watching. But the first bit of news is a little bit of next-gen pricing for games news. It's been in the discussion on game prices for more than just this generation, but even last generation. I remember people talking about what the prices could be. And yeah, Phil Spencer has finally come out and responded to this, as a lot of companies are starting to kind of hint that we might be moving forward to the $70 price point. In this article by GameSpot, it is titled Xbox Boss Phil Spencer responds to increased price for next-gen games. It reads, recently, 2K Sports announced that NBA 2K21 for PS5 and Xbox Series X will cost $70 USD, which is $10 price increase from the $60 USD that has been commonplace since the Xbox 360 PS3 era. Other publishers are expected to follow suit and raise prices for the next-gen games, but the full picture has not yet become clear. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has now commented on the matter, telling the Washington Post that he sees no problem with price increase. Gamers will ultimately vote with their wallets after all. In quotes, it says, as an industry, we can price things whatever we want to price them, and the customer will decide what the right price is for them. Spencer said, I'm not negative on people setting a new price point for games because I know everybody's going to drive their own decisions based on their own or business needs. But gamers have more choice today than ever have. In the end, I know the customer is in control of the price that they pay, and I trust that system. Spencer declined to say if Microsoft's own new games will cost $70 USD, but the situation at Xbox is somewhat different. With Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft offers a subscription service that gets you all first-party Xbox games for around $10 per month, which is a steal. Before the $10 price increase for NBA 2K21 was announced, PlayStation boss Sean Layden spoke about how the current AAA games business is unsustainable. In quotes, it says, it's been $59.99 since I started in this business, but the cost of games have gone up 10 times. Layden told GL.biz, if you don't have elasticity on the price point, but you have huge volatility on the cost line, the model becomes more difficult. I think this generation is going to see those imperatives collide. IDG Consulting Yoshio Osaki said that despite increasing development costs, the price of games has not increased in the same way that something like a Netflix subscription has. Even with the increase of $69.99 for the next gen, that price increase from 2005 to 2020 next gen is only 17% far lower than the other comparisons. He said, while the cost of development and publishing has gone up, the pricing in other entertainment verticals has also gone up substantially. Next-gen software pricing has not reflected these increases. $59.99 to $69.99 does not even cover these other cost increases completely, but does move it more in the proper direction. Osaki added that he believes other publishers are exploring moving their next-gen pricing up on certain franchises. So it seems very likely that not specifically the standard for pricing is going to go up, but people are going to start experimenting with it. And if that goes well, I assume it's going to become commonplace. What do we think about the prospect of prices of games going up? What do we think about people in the industry and what they have to say on that? And their some of them being sympathetic to the customer, and others going, "It's business, baby." And what do we think about all of this?
I mean, I think if just from a cost standpoint alone, we've already kind of seen the result of the price not going up by the increase in DLCs and expansions for games.
Oh yeah.
That is a direct response to them not raising the price of the games, because they still have to keep the lights on essentially and turn a profit. Ideally, they are a business, all of them. So I don't think the $10 thing is asking too much, to be honest. As long as that chills out a little bit of the extra purchases in games as well.
It won't.
But I mean,
I know what you're saying.
That would be the ideal.
I agree.
Trade off one for the other. I'd rather pay more for a full game than have it piecemealed to me. Though a lot of companies have gotten smart about it and sell cosmetics, and the people who can afford it will. So, which is what it is. The other thing I always think about too is they do specifically mention since the Xbox 360 PS3 era, and they also mentioned from what was that, 2005, I think they said.
Yeah.
I don't know, depending on your age bracket, Nintendo 64 games were like $80. So
and back in the Wild West of Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, they were all over the place.
Yeah, I mean,
I bought games from like $40 to $80. There was $120 games. On Genesis, I think I was that fucking Sonic Paint game with the mouse that came with it, so it had peripheral. But
and the economy was in I should say the price of $1 was significantly less then. So games were
it was
expensive.
very expensive, but it was also a niche market at the time that did not have standards built yet.
For sure. So I mean, there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to this. It's not just like, oh, they're trying to get $10 more out of me. I mean, realistically, like they brought up Netflix and every other service I've paid for, prices go up eventually because people got to get paid more to keep up with the economy. So does it suck? Well, I mean, ideally we all want to pay less, right? The other thing I want to bring up too that I think is kind of important is the business model has changed a lot too, where like that price point is there for like the first wave of purchasers, and it seems like a lot of companies like immediately will drop it a little bit, get the next wave, drop it again, get the next wave. There's a strategy there for sure. So.
There is, and it seems specifically in this generation, people are a lot more, unless it's one of those games that they know they can just keep at the highest price longer, like a Nintendo game or Call of Duty. Even we've seen Call of Duty though drop its price more quickly than ever before.
Down to about $40.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember back in the day, like Black Ops, Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2 were $60 for like fucking 8 years. But it does seem like they are more fast to get, like you said, the wave, to get that first full price wave. Get the people who were, I might pick it up. Oh, it's $10 less. I'll pick that up for $50. That's a deal. Or $40. They're like, oh fuck, that's like the perfect price for me. And then you get those crazy sales where you get like Days Gone for like $20, $15, because they're just trying to go like, okay, we've sold this to all the people who are interested in seeking it. Who's curious for $15, $20? Because we not only with just like the money you're not going to give us if we don't lower this price, but we'd also like you to go, hey, I actually played the game and I liked it. Maybe I'll be a return customer on my next game. Exactly. Yeah. So the model does have a standard, but it does seem to drop quicker. So there's a different strategy. But also, before we're going into the $70 standard, if that does become a thing, we already have created the standard that almost every game, specifically high-profile games, have about 3 price points already.
Yeah, with multiple editions.
Yeah. Most games come out at $60 or have a $70 to $80 version, and then they'll have a super crazy $100 to $140 version.
Yeah.
And that's standard. And I've bought plenty of those more expensive versions. And other ones I've skipped. It depends on when they add. But this is them trying to incentivize you giving more money for the game by giving you I assume, pretty low cost DLC to get you to spend more on the game.
And the stores are designed to show those first too, at least
Yeah.
on PlayStation Network.
Oh, it's really bad.
As soon as you search a game, it'll show you the deluxe version first.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna buy that game, the standard version. It's like, how about the ultimate edition?
When I went to buy Ghosts, it was like that.
I'm like, where's the standard? I don't want the extra stuff. I mean, it's cool, but not this game. Maybe another game. So it has already. It's a modular system that we're already in this generation, and I think that is there to compensate for the jump that I thought should have already happened. I'm on the record talking with Dean Takahashi in February about, I assumed that fucking price should have went up already.
Yeah.
I thought this whole generation should have been $70.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And it's because they chose a different route to go. So it makes more than just some sense to me that fucking next generation possibly could up it to 70. I have no negative feelings about it.
Especially after a decade.
Yeah. I have no negative feelings about it. I mean, it's more money, and that sucks. But I've been expecting this to happen and been confused on why it hasn't happened.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. For a while. And anyone out there who's just like, well, they just want more money. Well, they do, but you have to think about it. Games have gotten bigger and bolder and crazier, and they have the biggest teams ever. I remember back in the day when like the first 200-person team for a fucking AAA game was like a big deal, and now it's standard. And all those people got to get paid, and all the time put in, the fucking 4, 6, 8 years to make a game, 3 typically.
Well, the bar for success was like hundreds of thousands,
Yeah.
$500,000, $750,000, million. Like you have to sell so many units now to be successful.
Yeah. And the price has had to have gone up. And so when the price goes up too much, they mention in this article, it's unsustainable, because if they keep spending more and more money, but they're not getting as much money out of people, and of course there are the examples of like Fortnite that make crazy amounts of money. It's not every game though. And some games are very respectful when it comes to their DLCs.
Yeah.
They release a game, they're like, hey, just buy it. We don't plan on adding anything else to it. And then some games are still like, there's some cosmetics you can buy. There's all sorts of ways people go about this. And it just makes complete sense that they would have done that, because it is a way to get the standard price they expect from you, offer you ways to buy a more expensive version of the game, and then just kind of put it out there. Would you like to spend more money on the game? And you can really kind of, make or break somebody's experience with the game with how you do that. Some games are very shameless. Some Xbox games will ask you if you'd like to purchase something in the middle when you're playing it. That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
But then, the PSN store, shameless and going like, hey, we'd prefer if you buy the more expensive game.
Yeah, right off the bat here.
And it's not, I don't even care if they advertise it like that on the front page, but when I go to search for these games, a lot of times it pops up first. And then I have to click on it and then go to like the sections and go, no, I want the fucking standard one.
Yep.
So they on purpose make it difficult to, not difficult, but
add steps.
They just want they want your eyes on that, and they want you to have the option in your hands. They want to just put it in your hands and go, you want to buy this? And I'm like, no, I want the standard. I have to make that decision.
Well, and not real numbers, but like 1 out of 100 people pull that trigger, it's a win.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's just like if I was actively advertising this channel, most people are going to go look past it. But every once in a while, somebody's going to subscribe.
Yep.
And you just have to keep fucking that up, and it keeps building. Same thing with really anything when it comes to making sure people are aware it exists.
For sure.
So yeah, all in all, $70 makes complete sense. It's gonna suck for people who might, have a tighter budget for whatever reason. I can respect that, but we just kind of already talked about that. Those prices do fluctuate both ways
Pretty
quickly.
rapidly.
Yeah. I do think if we get $70 games, it's not going to change the model. I think it's going to stay the exact same. The games are going to be more expensive and less expensive quickly, and they're going to be full of fucking microtransactions and DLC like they are, because kind of like they said, this should have happened a while ago. I agree with that. And it's only 17% increase of what they said already. And it only makes sense. Like, honestly, they could go higher. I don't want them to. I don't think it's smart. I think a lot of people would reject a $20 increase. Look at any time Netflix ups their price by a little bit, people get pissed.
Yeah, and they bail for a little bit.
And they want to boycott, and then they stop, and then they come back because they're like, okay, well, it's not going to change. So, and I want that. Yeah. So it's just kind of growing pains in that sense. It does make me think about a future where it possibly could get even higher, but I think we're going to go into games as a service before that happens, where you're going to perhaps have the chance to buy the game and own it, or just do something like Game Pass and have access to a library that you don't own for a monthly fee.
With a discount to purchase if you want.
Yeah. I can see that coming before we get to like $100 game standard. We don't have enough generations ahead of us to get that to happen. And if it does, we'll see if I can justify it by then. That seems really fucking steep to me. But I would argue
with the current state of financial situation, or at least for us, financial situation, I'd say. So
I would argue though that some games are already pulling in those prices for games. When a game like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the newest one, came out, a lot of people bought the $80 to $100 something versions. I bought one of those. I know a lot of people who bought one of those two versions. They didn't buy the $60 version. And so I have to assume the companies that can pull that off and get those sales normally, they're already living in that world where they're making more. They're still just getting some people who are buying the $6 version as well, of course. And then they put out Warzone and get, purchases through that as well. But not everybody's able to pull that off. And so, some people are already kind of living in that price bracket already. It's just kind of allow other people to move up. But then you got to start looking at some of the indie games, and are they going to stay $30-$40? Are they going to start creeping up towards 50 or whatever? And if it's like, two people on a team, you're supporting them if you're paying those higher prices, but is the production price going up? Yeah. So it's really interesting. This is something I'm always really interested in when it comes to just kind of the economics and the business of gaming, because it affects us. We all play games. And I do think there is almost a game in itself when it comes to pricing on a lot of the shit. Console prices, controller prices, like the DualSense, that thing I feel like is going to be more expensive than a normal controller because it has more shit in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's justifiable. And same thing with these game prices. Again, I know some people who are just really just opposed to spending more money, regardless of the argument. And I get that, because you're like, I don't want to spend more money. I get it, 100%.
Sure.
But I think there's a really hard argument to make to try and say that this shouldn't be happening on a business level, just because the price of making a game is higher now than it ever has been. So it's impossible to expect that they will not try and match some kind of returns. And again, to reiterate, there are some games that are getting more than the returns that they needed, but they're the outliers. They're not the standard game.
Yeah. And you have some companies who can find other ways to supplement that income as well. You got your companies like EA, Ubisoft, and stuff like, and Activision and whatnot, that can make a cheap little mobile game, and they'll rake in tens of millions of dollars on microtransactions on a mobile game. That's just supplementing the brand at that point. Like if they do a Call of Duty game or a what was that? That Dungeon 1 or whatever that Ubisoft made that was on Steam and I think mobile. But
yeah.
Anyways, they have a lot of strategies. Obviously, then they got people who look at this stuff and whatnot. But at a point, something has to give. So and I think we're just finally seeing it. And like they said, later than really it probably should have happened. So
I do think, talking about Phil Spencer real quick and his response though, even though I do think if the standard went up, they're going to go up with it. But Microsoft is all about fucking subtle domination and getting their stuff in your hands no matter what. They want Game Pass in your hands. They want it on every fucking screen. They want you to be using Windows, all this shit, and they will give it to you or sell to you at like $10. So when I'm hearing them talk about like prices, I don't even know if he's taking it serious, because he's in the future, I'm assuming, hoping you're going to be on Game Pass. So you're just paying him every month anyway, or paying Xbox every month.
It's just Phil Spencer money.
Phil Spencer money. Spencer bucks. Phil bucks. But it does give Microsoft a little bit of a power play if they want to lose money, but still kind of rake people in if Sony comes out and they make it a standard that all their main games are going to be $70, and Microsoft's like, no, we're just going to keep ours at 60.
Yeah.
Because they can afford to do it. They do that all the time with everything. Microsoft really does not mind losing money to get you to get into their infrastructure, into their ecosystem.
Yeah, as long as the brand is in the hands.
Yeah, so. They really, that's such a big philosophy of Microsoft as a company in general, is like world domination. And I could see them, like he's holding back. He's like, I'm not saying what the price are going to be. And he's also saying it's in the customer's hands, because if you go $70 and no one buys it, they're going to have to do something.
Yeah, they'll figure something else out.
Yeah, because they have to make money. If they're not making money at all, they're going to lower the price. Look at so many EA games that have come out that did not sell well, and they drop them down to $20 like that instantly.
Yep.
You think they want to take $20? No, but they want money, and if you're not giving them money at all, they'll take $5. Just give me something, because we fucking spent money on this. We got to make something back.
And in one of those cases, I'm sure Disney wants the money too.
Sure. Yeah. Somebody's got to get paid. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a failure. And then people are going to get fired, and you're not going to get sequels to that game, all that shit. So they have to get some kind of return. And if they can, like, fucking cut even or even make a little bit more than what they paid into it, that's all, like, that's the second last-ditch effort of just, like, going, okay, this is not flying off shelves. So what the fuck can we do to get money that people are not going to give us if we don't lower the price? So he's right when he says it's in our hands. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anything else you want to say on it?
I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what do you guys think about the standard of a $60 AAA game going up to $70. Do you think it's about time? Are you against that for whatever reason? Do you think they shouldn't go up that high? Do you think it makes sense that they should go up that high? How do you feel about other ways they monetize? Are you one of those people who will indulge on buying the better edition and ultimate edition of a game, or do you always stick with the standard? Or are you one of those people, and I know some people like this, who just wait for it to go on sale? I know some people are like, it's interesting looking, I'll wait for it to go on sale, which is a smart move. I do that every once in a while, and I'm like, okay, that was worth waiting for. But some games, I'm just like, I got to get it right now. But yeah, and what do you think about Sean Layden talking about this? What do you think about Phil Spencer's take on this, and what do you think their strategy moving forward? Do you think Microsoft is going to do $70 standard games, or do you think they're going to maintain 60 or just fucking rule the world with Game Pass on your PS5 and on your Switch? Let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. Second bit of news is a little bit of a Nintendo Direct Mini and Very Mini Partner Showcase, which came out as of recording today. So this literally just dropped. It's 8 minutes. I'm not sure exactly everything that's on it. I know there's one thing on here I'm curious about seeing.
I know two things, but I haven't watched them. So
yeah, we're gonna watch this, talk about it, and yeah. Before we jump into it, anything you want to say?
No, I'll wait till the end. So
yeah. All right, short and sweet. 8 minutes. I almost said $8. I'm still thinking about economics right now. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. This is half of the video already. Please note, due to COVID-19, release dates and other information presented in the video are subject to change. For potential updates, please check the official Nintendo website and social media channels, as well as those of publishers. Almost. Because everything's getting delayed.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. We'll be delivering the latest information about upcoming Nintendo Switch
Mario's
games
face
from our
just down the right
development
corner is
and publishing
creepy.
partners.
It's like, are you buying it?
In this series will be released this year, so please stay tuned. Okay, let's get into the headlines. Keep stepping to the beat with new content. Use your rhythm skills to overcome
Never
the
played
threats
it.
terrorizing the land.
I've always
in
been
the caves
curious.
of Hyrule Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring the Legend
If
of
it went
Zelda
on
game.
sale,
Now with
maybe I'd
3
pick it up.
additional DLC packs. Pack 1 Character Pack. 5 newly added characters join the ensemble. Impa excels in ranged attacks with the Naginata. Take one hit or miss a beat with Arya, and it's game over. With these characters, you can take your musical journey for a new spin. Pack 2 Melody Pack. 39 songs will be added, including remixed versions of the game's background music.
39
Shred it.
songs.
Change the background
Shred
music
it.
at any
Pretty
time
dope.
so you can listen to your favorite songs while journeying through Hyrule. Pack 3 Additional story content, Symphony of the Mask. Play as the mysterious Skull Kid and venture through a brand new map, complete with
He's
new
very
songs
mysterious.
and a new story. Plus, he has the power to change abilities based on the masks he dons. What awaits Skull Kid in these strange lands? DLC Pack
a
1
mystery, I don't know.
Character Pack will be available for purchase later today, with the second and third DLC packs to be released before the end of October. A season pass containing
Not gonna
all
lie, that
three
kinda made me
DLC
wanna go
packs
buy
will
that.
Also launch
Yeah?
later today,
Yeah.
and will include bonus costumes for Link and
That they
Zelda.
added 39 songs to that
And for those
game in
who've
one
never
pack,
stepped
that's
to
fucking
Hyrule's
awesome.
beat
That's a
before,
shitload of songs.
You can get the
That's
rhythm
not,
going
that's
when a
like
version of the game containing
4
all
times
the
as much as I would
DLC
assume a
launches
pack would
October
have.
23rd. Save the day and look stylish while you're at it in Rogue Company.
I'm curious about this game. Because Hi-Rez is making it. They need to make fucking tribes, man. God. Tribes Ascend was sick.
Good night.
This is Watch Dogs Legion.
A new rogue is infiltrating the battlefield. Lay waste to your opponents with an arsenal of weapons and abilities in this online multiplayer third-person shooter. Clash with other players in competitive and casual game modes, or rise to the challenge against AI opponents that surely bring the heat. If you fall in
Cool.
battle, your teammates can revive you, letting you immediately jump back into the fray. Cross-platform play and cross-progression are also supported from day one, along with support for motion-controlled aiming.
I'm so happy about cross
Be on the lookout
progression.
for lots of content.
I love
including
that
maps,
shit.
Skins, rogues, and more. Stay tuned for more information later today about Rogue Company.
That game looks free to play, and it's like $40.
Brawl
I don't know if
without
they're gonna
limit.
sell anything.
WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Here we go, here we go. Come on, welcome.
It's just
to
chunky wrestling.
WWE action. 3, 2, 1. How I feel now? That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, seriously?
That guy was dead-eyed about that. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh. They were flying.
Super Saiyan shit.
Everybody going down.
Hi.
Just spun that boy around like
It looks kind of fun. I miss like some of the old school ridiculous wrestling games.
I mean, I'm sure it is fun because it seems to be not taking itself too
Yeah.
seriously, which usually proves to make fun games. So.
without limits. Get it today.
Fuck. Okay, it's already
How
out.
is everything?
Got
This
it.
next one
Today.
will be our last announcement.
I never played it.
Played the third one.
I think that's what this is.
These two? Yeah, I think I did. I didn't get very far with this.
A world that
Memory
loses
of it.
its power will fade into nothing. Instead, I can invite you to the world that is to come.
It's been a while since we last met, young.
Bro, what the fuck is
Should
up
I
with your
say,
hair?
Timmy.
Who did that to you?
Demons. This place is crawling with them.
You have done very well.
I recognize some of these monsters from that MMO.
The world will fall for
They've
its
used the same
sins,
ones even in Persona. So.
and everyone living will vanish. Will you tell me who you are?
Tokyo died.
Persona used to be called Shin Megami
And I
Tensei
was
V,
given
Persona,
life.
though, so.
Yeah,
Yep, that's three.
that's
Neat.
pretty cool. I've never gotten to jump into those. I only played the MMO, and I liked that.
That got announced forever ago. Thought it disappeared.
Yeah, you're telling me about that. Where's 4 at on the fucking one of the handhelds?
Probably.
I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Damn, okay. You're winning another year. I mean, it's got my interest. I don't know what the hell I just saw, but
That's all for today's
I like
Nintendo
the
Direct
tone. It
Mini
was cool.
Partner Showcase. Thank you for watching. Please look forward to more Partner Showcase
I understand what people on
presentations
Twitter are
coming
like.
this
They
year.
might as well just shown fucking Shin Megami Tensei V. But again, with all these people, always like, they didn't show what I wanted.
Right.
Plus, in 2020, isn't it just nice to just have like a day where they're like, hey, there's some video games coming out, and you're like, hey, I can just take my fucking mind off shit. It's great. Stop bitching. Yeah, what do you think?
That was neat. I'm glad to see those games actually releasing. Just because that series kind of got forgot about here in the West. I remember on
Barely introduced here in the West.
I would say we got a taste of it on PlayStation 2, I believe it was, and then the Shin Megami series kind of disappeared, but the Persona series stayed because apparently that one clicked with people here. So it'll be neat to see like what I believe to be the original series. I'm not well versed on it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they're usually darker toned. Mm-hmm. So even though Persona's got some pretty dark stuff in it, but
Yeah, but, well, I'm sure that might be as well. But Persona's kind of goofy, too, in an anime way. So, but it deals with, like, darker stuff. But it seems like just that's the overall tone of both series.
yeah.
They both kind of dabble in dark imagery and you know, bizarre, weird shit. So.
Yeah, though I do like the same thing like I like about like a Final Fantasy, for example, where like there is brand items in there that are just recognizable across the series, like all the demons, for example, are the same. So, yeah, and like you said, when they did the MMO, it was the same idea, except for they were little cutesy versions of the in some cases. So
I'd say some of them were definitely not cutesy. They look straight ripped out of the games.
yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool to me. I mean, we didn't really see gameplay. We saw some weird, bizarre stuff that kind of built an atmosphere, which I am intrigued by. I'm stoked that they're doing the third one as a remake, or HD remaster. I don't know what the fuck it said. It was either remake or remaster, one of the two. But it's cool they're giving people the opportunity to play that again. Maybe build up some brand excitement again in 2020 before this game comes out. I'm always down for that. I like that idea. As long as people are producing, new games, I don't mind older games coming back. Some people hate that shit, but I don't mind it. The Hyrule game, I forgot the whole name of the game, but Cadence or whatever the fuck. I've seen it a couple times. I always am like, looks kind of neat. I've had a couple people go, yeah, it's pretty fun. But for some reason that really kind of clicked with me this time with those DLC packs. Almost seems like it's the time for me to pick that up if I'm going to pick it up. So I'm kind of curious about that. I am curious about Hi-Rez's new game that I forgot the name of. Something Rogue something. But Rogue Agency, I don't know, something really fucking generic. But the game does look kind of generic. It looks like I'm the kind of guy who will try a generic game to see if maybe the gameplay is just good enough that I can overlook how basic it looks.
Yeah.
I like the idea that's cross-play, cross progression. Yeah. I read a little bit about it. It said it's like 60 frames per second even on the Switch, which is really good because if it's going to be a competitive shoot at each other game that also has versus AI stuff, which I appreciate. It needs to be set up so that if you're picking this game up on Switch, you don't feel like you're getting fucked because your console can't keep up. So I'm glad they prioritized that. I'd like Hi-Rez they've made a couple games. They made Smite. They made their Overwatch style game, Paladins. They made Tribes and stopped fucking supporting it. So they've had a couple games that have worked, but they've had a lot of games that haven't worked as well. So we'll see if this picks up any steam. It's a premium game though, which I was really surprised by. I thought this was gonna be a free to play game. So if it's free to play, I would definitely try it. But I'm gonna have to look up and see what people think about it. So far, I looked up a video and this guy was like, "This game's amazing, guys. Hi-Rez sent me a copy of this." I'm like, okay, I'll wait till the game releases to hear somebody. I was like, it's amazing. I don't buy that. That game might be cool, but I don't fucking buy that. Game's amazing.
But they gave me one.
Yeah, they gave me the game. It's amazing. I'd love to get more games. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Same.
As I eat my beard. Oh God. But yeah, the wrestling game is interesting looking. It's not that I'm going to run out, but if someone's like, yeah, it's pretty fun, I might check it out. So, like I said, I kind of miss the days of, you got your mainline games and someone makes like a weird NFL Blitz type game that's just like ridiculous. It still follows the same properties as some of the rule sets of whatever the hell it comes from, but it allows itself to be goofy and more gamey and fun. So I like that. So overall, I think the little mini direct for 8 minutes packed in a lot of shit, and some stuff I'm interested in. So I'm happy with it. It was a little bite-sized little, hey guys, games are coming out, and I'm into it. And I like the way Nintendo does their directs, just because they're straight to the point. When they have to say something, it's like during a transition.
Yeah,
when it's going from this game to this game, they're like, hey, this fun game's coming out this fall, and then it goes to the next thing. You're like, okay, cool. It's not, this developer grew up in a real fucked up area and through fucking adversity finally got to conquer their dreams. I'm like, I'm happy for them. I am, but where's the games? Not to sound insensitive, but that's not what anyone's really watching these videos for.
Yeah.
And EA was chocked full of that shit. Any thoughts? Outside of the presentation was good?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I always enjoy them. I guess I have a hard time being disappointed by them because I'm not really going into them expecting them to announce like my favorite title coming out next, type of thing. I'm just, I wait and see what they have to present to me. So
same.
Yeah. I think that's just a mentality thing though in general. I did enjoy it though. It was in 8 minutes, like you said, they gave us a lot really quickly. In fact, to bring up EA again, they gave us as much in 8 minutes there as I received in 3 hours last year. So
that's not even an exaggeration.
No,
it's crazy. So, anything else?
No.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of the Nintendo Direct Mini. What do you think about the size, the 8 minute length? Do you think they show off anything interesting? Are you excited for anything that was shown? Are you not excited for something that was shown? Have you played some of these games that were shown? Would you recommend them? The Zelda game, obviously, the Hyrule one has been out. People have told me about it, so I would absolutely take more recommendations on that. Or maybe someone's like, you know what, it's not as good as people say it is. Have you played that Rogue, whatever the hell? I think that just dropped when this came out. So if you've played that, let me know. And if you've got a free copy of it, I'm going to disregard your opinion until like a week or two.
It's amazing.
After you can finally start speaking your real mind. Then I'll listen to you. And yeah, let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to Nintendo Direct. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out our streams. Links down below. Check us out on Discord. Link down below as well. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. And we are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Until the next episode, which will be something in the coming week, I'm sure. Until then, have a good week, guys, and take it easy.